What's happening, MJ traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today's Thursday, January 26th. Hope you're doing awesome. In this video, the good times keep on rolling. Obviously, just joking. We had some news today. Village Farms announced share dilution today. Stock was down about 40%. So obviously, the tough times in the MJ space continue to roll in, and it's just something that we've been seeing. We continue to get pummeled in the space. And I think people are finally starting to realize that even companies that are posting good numbers, whether it be fundamentals, good financials, if they're positive, if they're net income positive, if they're adjusted EBITDA positive, all of these companies are still having issues, right? Even the good ones, the poster childs of the space, including Village Farms. And I think the reason for that is because of the industry at large, right, being hindered, whether it be from a lack of regulatory reform in the US, or whether it be a lack of the MJ Act here in Canada, right? We know that we're about 4 years into legalization in Canada, and we still have so many laws and restrictions in the space that is really hindering the space. So we're starting to realize, a lot of people are starting to realize now, that it's not just one or two companies in the MJ space that are having issues. It's an MJ space issue, right? It's the whole industry at large. And I think that that's going to continue until we have US reform and legalization in the US and abroad and other countries as well. But not only that, until we start to see some laws and regulations start to ease here in Canada. But before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, click the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. We'll dive into this news here today with Village Farm dilution, and then we'll look at the chart. I'll give my opinions on the chart, what the technicals are saying, what to expect in the days and weeks and months ahead. So obviously, MJ Biz Daily reported this article. Obviously, stock was down quite a bit on this news. So MJ and veggie grower Village Farms raising $25 million, and something to remember here is Village Farms isn't a pure MJ play. And I know a lot of people are very bullish on VFF. I think that it will do well long term. It could be one of the long-term companies that have long-term, could be one of the companies that have long-term staying power. But I've been saying for a while now on my channel, I'm focusing most of my capital on 100% pure MJ plays. And we know that, for example, Tilray has a ton of alcohol business. They have a distribution business. They have a MJ business. And they have a wellness business. And we know that Sundial is getting into retail, but not just MJ, but into alcohol as well. And I'm focusing on the pure MJ plays, like, Organograms of the world, the Hexos of the world. Whereas, VFF, it's no wonder that they were posting good numbers, is because they're not just in the MJ space, right? It's the same thing with Tilray. I'm just not 100% sold on their business models. And like I said, I'm looking to invest in this amazing industry and medicine of the future, and I'm focusing most of my investment capital on pure MJ plays. So just wanted to highlight, this is one of the reasons why VFF isn't a big holding in my portfolio. But obviously we'll go over the news here. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but essentially they're raising 25 million, 33 million Canadian dollars from institutional investors. And there were some warrants to go along with that as well. The shares and warrants will be sold for a combined price of $135 per share. So the price actually dipped below $1 today. The warrants will have an exercise price of $1.65, the company said, and they'll be used. The proceeds will be used for general working purposes. Expected to close around January 30th. And consolidated sales for Village Farms, which grows and produces MJ, were $71 million in the quarter ended September 30th. As of date, cash on hand amounted to $18.2 million. So very, very low cash on hand. And we know that I'm going to be doing another video on OGI, so Organogram. They received a warning today from the NASDAQ with regards to their price being below $1. So they're going to have to go through the same troubles that Hexo was going through. Hexo just regained compliance with the minimum bid price rule. So we'll see if OGI can follow suit. But VFF, like I said, down about 40% from the close of yesterday. And now we're below $1 as well on VFF on the NASDAQ. So we could see a similar issue with VFF where it loses compliance with the NASDAQ minimum bid price rule. So again, the tough times they continue to roll in, and this may not be the end of the bad news, right? We could see this potentially be below $1 for an extended period of time, and they might get a warning as well. I don't think it's the end of the world. Like I said, Hexo received a warning and they were able to reclaim that and regain compliance. But obviously this dilution news really hitting the stock hard today, and we're getting close to all-time lows. If we take a look here on the NASDAQ, the all-time low is at 54 cents. But this could be a monster trade opportunity. Hexo is a monster trade opportunity below $1 post-split. and I think VFF is going to offer a similar type of move. I think this could easily see about 100%. So I might establish a position, just a swing position. I'm going to be setting a stop below the low here. So we have the low at 91 cents. I'm going to be setting a stop below 90. I might look at entering tomorrow for a swing. And like I said, going to be a monster swing opportunity with a tight stop loss potentially. So I'm going to set my stop under 90 cents. And like I said, if we see a move back up to the EMAs here on the monthly time frame, which we usually gravitate back towards them, that's about a 220% move. If we go back to EMA 26, you're looking at almost 400% of upside from current levels, right? So obviously, if we do lose 90, we have no monthly support all the way down to 54 cents. So that's why I'm going to be using a very, very tight stop loss. But I just wanted to point this out, that this could be a monster trade opportunity. Like I said, using the low of the day today as a clear stop loss level. So tomorrow, like I said, probably going to be entering a swing trade on VFF. I currently do not own any shares of VFF, full disclosure. I own an ETF with VFF in it, but that's the most exposure I have to VFF, only a couple %. So I'm going to be looking to take a swing trade. And like I said, if we go back up to the high of this week, that's about an 83% move. So something similar as to what happened with Hexo. If you take a look at the low there, the low is 90 cents, so a very similar scenario. And off of the low there, it's already up about 100%. So I think VFF could see a similar type of move over the next couple of months, or even the next couple of weeks, where we see a massive move, right? We have the gap in the chart now at 121. So even from current levels, just to fill the gap, you're looking at about a 30% move and upside there. So I think this is going to be a great swing trade. But obviously VFF getting absolutely destroyed, breaking to a monthly lower low. And if we take a look at February 2021 to the lows here, we're now down 95%. So again, it doesn't matter if they're profitable. It doesn't matter if their net income, net earnings positive. Doesn't matter if they're positive adjusted EBITDA. What matters is the sector moves together, and people are finally starting to realize that, again, this isn't just one or two companies having issues. This is an MJ issue, the whole space, right? And the average for Canadian stocks from February 2021 highs is 90% plus drawdown, right? Now VFF meeting the same, right? If we take a look at Tilray from its high at February 2021, we are down 96%. So it's par for the course. We're just seeing that across the whole space right now, down to almost 96%. So over 95% here. And like I said, a lot of the US MJ, they're not seeing as much of a drawdown. So the average there is about 80% from February 2021 highs. But I did a video yesterday. Trulieve is now down almost 88%. So it's almost at that 90%, right? So even companies that are profitable, even the US MSOs are finally starting to get into that 90% drawdown from February 2021 highs. So it just goes to show you that the whole sector moves together, right? So I do think that there's going to be a monster trade opportunity though with VFF, and I think anything under $1 is a steal. But we are below the 10-week moving average. We're seeing a bear cross on the MACD, and we could potentially see a bear cross on the stochastic. So the end of this week is not looking good whatsoever. We did have the bear cross of the weekly moving averages, which happened back in March of 2022. Where the price was around $5, and then here we are sub $1. If we take a look at the daily time frame, we were gearing up for a potential golden cross, but it's quite a ways away. We're now well below the 50-day moving average, and a lot of our other names are starting to see potential golden crosses, like Tilray, for example, very, very close to seeing its, and just barely below its 50-day moving average. So very, very close to confirming a golden cross, but VFF probably going to be a lot longer now after this dilution news, and it's probably going to be at least a couple of months, if not more, before we see a golden cross, in my opinion, bearing any unforeseen news or anything like that. But yeah, it's unfortunate. The news today came at a pretty bad time for VFF investors. But in my opinion, this is a great buying opportunity sub $1. And like I said, we could easily see a 30, 50, even 100% move from here, a monster swing trade opportunity. But going to end it there, I'm going to be releasing an OGI video just after this. So make sure to subscribe and tick the bell to be notified on any future videos. If you could share the video with anybody that might find value, I would appreciate it. And if you could smash the like on your way out, I would appreciate that as well, if you think I earned it today. But it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.